Well, the fashion scene in Milan, it's, we can say it's the center of Italian fashion. Which way? Most of the companies have got the general offices in Milan, all the PR offices of most of the factories around the country, And then we are a kind of stage for our companies, because we must remember that Italy is still a big producer of fashion. So we have local production for Italian brands, but also great production for different brands. After the Second World War, Milan started having big fairs, and because of being a kind of melting pot, it was the place where many offices came. Like Giorgio Armani, he was working for big department stores like La Rinascente. They started thinking they could develop their own line. So little by little they started their own production, which was hopefully successful. We can say that we have a different fashion district, the Golden Quadrangle, which is Monte Napoleone, Via Spiga. The big companies are located, one could say, Zona Tortona. Armani, for example, he bought in Zona Tortona lots of buildings. He built with Tadao Ando his own theater to have his catwalks, his presentation. There is the Armani Silos, which was a former granary, with now his own kind of museums, and all the general offices of the company are located there. This is going to be shown during Milan Fashion Weeks. It's what we call prêt-à-porter, ready to wear. Of course, we could say Miuccia Prada and Giorgio Armani are the two most important ones, but now there is a new generation of people coming, working for different brands like Antonio Marras or others, Curie and so on. In this very moment, it's not so important the name of the designer, Dolce & Gabbana, one could say, but as you know, it's much more important the name of a brand, and the designer is working for the brand, because until now most of them are family business, and everything is still run by the family, like Missoni, for example. So we are very different, and they differentiate because they are different, their mood is different, If you compare Giorgio Armani with very Milanese, his kind of colors are the colors of our nature around, If you compare him to Dolce & Gabbana, they really smell Sicilians, And so it's very easy for them to go back to their roots, and to rediscover different kind of materials, different kind of being dressed. Well, I should say for a young person, it's a tough world where you have to work very hard, because many times young people are just looking at the glittering parts of that. Why it's a tough job? You must have good knowledge of materials, because in a country where the cost of labor is so high, you just compete on the quality of what you produce. That is very important for fashion designer, for fabric designers. In the inner fashion world, you need also a great curiosity. Every season there is something new coming on. Know exactly what is going to happen because we go 2 years in advance to Premiere Vision and then to PT Filati, and so you know which will be the colors, you know. So companies are starting producing threads, fabrics according to these kind of trends. We have seasonal trends, but then long period trends, you know. The Milan Fashion Weeks are quite important because of the whole of the system behind the fashion catwalks, you know. So there is a huge world of producers in different typologies of elements, from bottom to zip to whatever. Well, fashion, it's important because there is a great business around that. Then fashion is important because it gives us a very nice and evident and clear lecture on how people are moving, behaving. So fashion, it's a very easy element to understand people. And fashion is also important because it's a way through which people are expressing themselves.